Good day, first world travellers, and welcome back. Do you fancy visiting yet another interesting and diverse area of Mexico City? If you do, you're in luck. Today I am in San Angel, a colourful and absolutely gorgeous area of the city, including monasteries, cobbled streets and more. Let's go. Welcome everyone to San Angel. Firstly, I just want to thank all the subscribers and commenters that have recommended for me to come here, because to be honest with you, it wasn't really on my list, but I'm glad I have come here. So first of all, I thought I would start off this video by telling you a little bit about the history of this area, because it actually is really interesting. I've been really excited to come here. So firstly, this area, San Angel, used to be a small hamlet, or effectively like a small village, and similarly with Coyoacan, as Mexico City grew, it became part of the city. Now, in the ancient Aztec language, San Angel was called Tenanitla, which is roughly translated to next to the stone wall. There is no stone wall. What this means is there was a volcanic eruption, and there's effectively a wall of volcanic rock around this place. And I'm going to come back onto that later, because that's where it gets interesting. San Angel is full of history, so you can just have a walk around this place looking at the cobbled streets, all the buildings located around here, and many of them date back to the 1700s, so a lot of them are old mansions which have now been converted into restaurants, art galleries, things like that. And very similar to Coyoacan, if you look at the colours of the paintwork, you've got bright blues, dark reds, bright yellows, which is very common in a place like this in Mexico City. One of the other things you can do in San Angel, if you come on a Saturday, you can go to the Saturday market, which is very famous. You can get lots of handicrafts and things like that. Unfortunately, I work on a Saturday, so I couldn't come on Saturday. Today is Monday. And another thing you can do, there's a yearly flower festival as well. But probably the main thing that you'll want to come and see in San Angel is the El Carmen Chapel and Monastery. This is where it gets interesting. Let's go. So walking through these streets is very nice. You've got things like little park areas and fountains, and you can look at all the buildings, very nice. I'm not on the cobbled bit now. It's very difficult to walk on cobbles, even though I'm in my hiking shoes. So if you're a female, or maybe a male, and you like to wear heels, I'll probably advise against it. And as we're on our way, here's a typical example of what you can see in San Angel. So there's lots of shops behind me. There's actually some good clothes shops with some good quality clothes. So if you want to do some shopping, it is the right place to come. And behind me is a MERCADO. Those sort of arches, you know, it's very familiar. You know, when I see that sort of thing, I think of a big market. So lots of places for food. I can see, like, you know, bags and things for sale. I don't know whether they are genuine, but who knows. All these yellows and reds and blues really sets it apart from many other areas in Mexico City. So again, as I said before, it's just another example of how diverse this city is. It's awesome. So great news, the chapel is closed. What a surprise. So I'm going to have to come back here in a couple of days. So we're going to do a bit of time travel. And just like that, it's 2 days later, I'm outside the Museo de El Carmen, which has just been awesome. I've just been in. Let's find somewhere a bit quieter and I'll tell you the story. I found somewhere a bit quieter in front of this fantastic graffiti. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. So when you think of pyramids, what do you think of? Think of Egypt, right? Well, I think you've seen from the Teotihuacan video that I did that Mexico kicks Egypt's ass when it comes to pyramids. And the same is true for mummies. You think of mummies, you think of Egyptian mummies covered in bandages, that sort of thing. Well, you're in for a surprise. So first of all, this place, as usual, I can't film in there, so I didn't walk around filming. The picture quality is really bad. Some of it's really shaky. I did manage to get some done on my stabilizer, but you just have to live with it. So the story, this El Carmen monastery and monastery school was started to be built in the 1600s, and the monastery school is called San Angel. That's where the name comes from. And underneath the monastery is a crypt where there's dead bodies, okay? And the way that the churches raised funds or made money in those days was by effectively renting out the space in the crypt for dead bodies. And when the bodies would decompose, the bodies would be removed and the process would start again. But in the 1800s, this place was abandoned due to some sort of changes in religion in Mexico. I won't go into detail. And basically it was sealed up with the bodies inside, and it wasn't until 1917 that it was rediscovered. And you might remember at the beginning of this video I said about volcanoes, or a wall of volcano. That's where the old name of this place comes from. And the reason why the bodies are so preserved, as you can see now, is because of the soil. Basically the soil absorbed the moisture from the decomposing bodies, which means they're effectively mummies that, you know, they're not in bandages. They look absolutely, you know, still like they were when they were put in those coffins, because they've all still got the same clothes on. It's very impressive. It's very spooky as well. So that's the story of volcanic soil, monasteries, crypts, mummies in Mexico. You wouldn't think this sort of thing would be in Mexico. And overall it's very impressive. There's lots of, you know, impressive artwork in there. There's an artist, Camilla someone, I'll put her name down the bottom. These little models of people, very impressive. She died in 1981. I've learned so much today. So on that note, we've seen around the monastery now. It's time to go somewhere else. And we're back. So that was the chapel. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of history. To end this video, I'm going to go and have a look around in this market, and I need some food as well. I'm starving. So this market is very similar to the one in Coyoacan. So you have lots of places to eat, tortillas, quesadillas, things like that. You've got fruit and veg down there with that amazing thing up there. Behind me you've got like a fish area, fish, meat, things like that. And of course, shoes, souvenirs. And one thing about souvenirs, and someone commented this in another video, it's not so much souvenirs in terms of tourists. You know, the handicraft thing in these markets and also the artisan markets is very much a Mexican tradition, and it's not necessarily for tourists. It's handicrafts for the locals. I hope that's correct. Thank you for whoever it was that told me that, I can't remember. So I've ordered some sort of soup and some tacos, they're on their way. It's actually very nice. It has rice in it and vegetables, pretty much, but it's very tasty, it's beautiful. So for some reason I ended up with spaghetti with cheese, but just look at these tacos, they are literally heaven. I'm not going to be able to film myself eating it because I only have one pair of hands, so you'll just have to imagine what they're like. I'll tell you what it's like in a minute. Okay, that food was stupendous. So I wasn't planning on having a 3-course meal today, but it turns out that's what I had. So I had the soup, I had the spaghetti, some sort of small plate of spaghetti, and then 5 tacos full of chicken. Absolutely awesome. And I think it was a bit too much for me. I feel like I have a food baby and I'm going to slip into a food coma. Oh well. So yeah, like I said, it's a bit too much for me, but I'm not going to turn my nose up at that. It was only 60 pesos, which is amazing value, and the food was out of this world. Sorry for the excitement, but I have had a really good day today in San Angel. It's wonderful. So thank you for watching. Make sure you put this on your list when you come to Mexico City. I hope you're all going to come to Mexico City if you're not from here, right? And next up, are loads more videos from Mexico City before I leave here at the end of this week. But don't worry, in YouTube world, it's going to be a lot longer. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe as always. And thank you very much. I'll catch you later. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean.